out where with Edwin evolving that Curlia, this could be very dangerous, right? So there's 3 Psychic Energies left in the deck, so I guess technically there's enough energy for Edwin to actually attack with everything on board. 2 Psychic Energies on the active Gardevoir, a Psychic Energy on the Curlia, and a Reversal Energy on the Curlia would allow a Shining Arcana Gardevoir to attack if it gets evolved. So able to really attack with everything if he finds everything. Pokestop finds double Super Rod.
It's going to be interesting here. So if Edwin attaches the Psychic Energy to the Gardevoir and Azul opts
Para atrás.
capture the shiny.
Oh, no.
Oh, what could be happening here is just an attack with the Dragonite, and with the energy so spread out,
yeah,
there is a potential for no return KO, and this is big damage. This is 250 damage onto a Gardevoir EX.
Yeah, Dragonite V is something that was super popularized by Azul and his team earlier on in the season, earlier on last year. Just such a great attacker in this Lost Zone box deck. Kind of seen just no play for the past few tournaments, and with players deciding that, yeah, maybe Lost Zone Kyogre is good again, this Dragonite V
Para
is
trás.
finding
Meu
its way
irmão, o
back
Kai
home.
tá metendo ali a banana nos caras, se for coisa.
This is a line.
Cara, joga muito mal o Kai nos amigos, né?
It's not a knockout.
It's 250 damage onto the Gardevoir. I believe they would like for it to be a knockout. It does put energy into the discard pile.
Did Azul grab 2 prizes?
Para trás.
The tempting trap, it adds 90 damage.
Mete a mandioca
when you
nos caras,
attack.
Gugão.
Oh, ill-forgotten second effect of Mawile. So able to do 340 damage with that Dragon Gale, and that was such a heads-up play from Azul.
What are these lines? Definitely not something I had planned, not something I looked into here, as that is a knockout into the Gardevoir EX. Edwin has to find another Gardevoir.
Morreu o cartão, velho.
Yeah, and I think they're clarifying it now. We never really see that attack. Again, 20 damage on Azul's
Para
defense
atrás.
due to that Dragon Gale, but that's fine. We got the big knockout on Gardevoir EX, and looking to kind of close things out here.
Pokestop now being played.
Oh no, discards the Reversal and the Psychic Energy.
Biscoito, eu vou comendo, minha
Do we have
pança, eu
any
vou
more
enchendo.
Gardevoirs in the deck? We
Nossa,
didn't
você
have an
tem
Ultra
isso,
Ball.
você é
Why?
muito burro, velho.
There's
Vai tomar no
Ultra Ball in
cu.
hand.
Because the Pokestop, you use that in a desperation time move, especially in a Gardevoir deck. Are we in a tough
Para, eu acho
situation?
que
I
desse
think there's only
morreu.
the one EX that was just knocked out, so Edwin should have access to another one. Oh, no! They're both in the discard, so Edwin is trying to find a Super Rod to be able to get that Gardevoir EX back in play, and this game is starting to heat up.
That was a very scary Pokestop. Again, so many things could have gone wrong. Could have discarded something like a Manaphy or a
Simplesmente
Jirachi.
preciso
Things would be
morrer.
really done then. As 2 Shining Arcana Gardevoirs now in play, looks like the play is going to be
Mas
hit
antes
into
disso,
the
eu vou dar
Dragonite
uma
and hopefully
otada.
boss it up for the knockout. Because again, Edwin only needs 2 more prizes to win this game. But Azul Garcia Grego being able to find a way to come back, as Iono is the play here for Edwin, giving him 2 prize cards. So Azul's
Uma habilidade
giving him 2
matada.
cards. So Azul's 3. What are the draws? Not too good here for Edwin, but again, does have access to both Shining Arcana.
No, he already used them before the
Yeah,
Iono,
yes.
so just left with those 2 cards. Screamtail is going to do 120 damage to the active, but Azul is in firm control now in this game. You can even maybe counter catcher if you have it, bring up that Gardevoir with 3 energies, take the knockout, and that means the Screamtail is going to be able to take the knockout, but other than that, I don't know what Edwin has. Well, yeah, you can't attack with Dragonite.
Yeah.
There's 2 prize cards left.
Azul needs to find a single prize attacker. Ideally, maybe a Sableye. Does find the Chorus Experiment off the concealed cards, which is huge. I also has the switch card to be able to switch out the Dragonite, heal it as well. Has Mirage Gate too, if they have enough to attack with the Greninja.
Para
There is 1 water
trás.
energy and 1 energy. 2 water energy on the Dragonite, 1 water energy in the Lost Zone. So they would have to be exactly
Nossa, eu
2
tava
in the
precisando
deck.
morrer,
Does go
velho.
for the
Wow.
Pokestop.
Muito
Perfect
feio.
3 cards. Well, 3 free cards there.
Yeah, so the best case scenario here would be trying to attack with a Sableye this turn. I don't know if he has access to it just yet, but Super Rod plus Colossus Experiment should be able to find some stuff.
He attacks with the Sableye. He can take a knockout on the Screamtail. Can he set up both Gardevoirs to get knocked out by Raiden Greninja, though? I don't think it's possible. He's going to have to go for like a Kyogre play after the knockout.
10 damage short, I think. So Experiment finds that Force Seal Stone. Pokestop you could throw away if you want.
Very intense here. Sends the Force Seal Stone.
Para atrás!
Search for a Pokemon.
There's still a Pokestop. Oh, no, we've already Pokestopped.
I think this might be a turn where you just Moonlight Shuriken potentially. Take the knockout on the Screamtail, set up the KO on a Gardevoir. Maybe you just...
How many Mirage Gates do we have in hand? I know for a fact there's no water energies in hand.
Maybe you just 90-90 both Gardevoir. That leaves him with 50 HP left, but then there's 30 HP left on the Screamtail. That's not going to do it.
I think...
Para trás!
Azul has brought this back.
Eu sou o melhor Mocai dos servidores. Eu reparei isso.
What are the options?
Caralho.
Healing up the Dragonite.
Fui pegar.
Just leave it with 9
Mano.
damage.
Eu sei igual. Eu sou o melhor Mocai do servidor, mano. Eu já reparei isso.
Very easily knocked out by one of the shiny Arcana Gardevoirs.
Sabe quem que eu voltaria pra entrar no grupo lá, velho? O Gabriel.
Would it have to be a blind Aqua Storm, potentially?
Por quê?
Does draw into the Kyogre. The second card better be bad, as it is going to be the counter catcher.
Ah, mas, mano.
A blind
sei
Aqua
lá, velho.
Storm.
Well, there's the Recycler in hand, I believe.
Yeah. If you put 5 cards, all you need to do is hit 3, knock out both Gardevoirs.
I think Azul would need to switch card into the
Mas
Dragonite
seria
and
de
then
sentido
retreat
também.
manually into the Kyogre.
Putaria? Sei
Just to
lá.
get those energies in the discard so you can Recycler back into the deck.
Does have access to Forest Seal Stone still.
Yeah, still has not used that. That's pretty great.
So there is
Bora.
a combination of cards.
I mean, you only need 3 energies off the Aqua Storm, right?
Yes. If you can get your deck
Cadê?
Ai, mano, eu quase matei. Eu
cards,
quase
just make sure you don't
matei.
lose.
Eu quase matei.
Aqua Storm.
Oi?
Fala.
See the switch
Ai,
card.
só
Back to that
lambada esse
Dragonite.
robô. Só
Retreat,
lambada.
the big 3 retreat cost, getting those energies in the discard. We're going to see an Aqua Storm here, Rancho.
Oh, and it's a
Hey,
very interesting Aqua Storm as Super Rod's going to be played, shuffling in 3 energy, I believe, and
Qual o nome dessa
Mirage
sala?
Gate.
Sala
Ooh, there's an energy in the deck, too. That's good.
All
So I
right.
think with the Recycler, it should almost
É
be
só lambada,
guaranteed.
bom.
Mirage Gate, 2 attachments there onto
Cara.
the Kyogre. Can use the Forest Seal Stone to get that psychic energy.
Para
the water
trás,
energy
dragãozinho.
to
Para
have for turn.
trás,
Or
dragão.
just have a second Mirage Gate.
Para trás.
I think with only 3
Nossa
energies in
senhora.
the discard, this is
Vai
going to
tá
be a
forte,
little bit
cuzão.
rough. So you Force Seal Stone, go ahead and grab that water. You...
Vai
or
tá
twist Mirage
forte,
Gate, and then
cuzão.
Energy
Tudo
Recycler
impressionante,
back,
mano. Como é que é
6
possível,
cards
hein?
in the deck. I think that might be able to
Muitos
do it.
cara-
And again, how do you take the last
Vamos deixar
knockout?
esse tão pau no cu
You
aqui.
still have Cramorant?
Ô, não fala assim, meu.
That
Good
could still be a
boy.
possibility if we still have Rod.
Yeah, let's
Um
look through
cara
the deck.
super gente
Echoing the
boa,
horn.
Gordura.
Water,
Nunca
Super
fez isso.
Rod. Yeah, you need to take the water though and just hope that you don't discard the Super Rod. Oh,
Para
this is so
trás.
scary.
Pegando raiva de
You
Goiânia,
have
velho.
to take the water to be able to attack. You have to make sure you don't discard the Super Rod so you have an attacker left in the deck because Screamtail does have enough damage
Caralho.
on it to knock out the Kyogre, I believe. And
Okay, so maybe
Doing
take the
a final
Super
point.
Rod with the
Ai,
Force
era
Stone
pro outro
and
lado,
put back
mano.
some
Ai.
Pokemon.
Vai.
You can Energy Recycler the 3 energy back into the
Todo
deck.
Goiânia é
Mirage
otário
Gate,
assim, só.
the 1 water out to the Kyogre in the active spot. I think that's going to leave Azul with enough cards here. But then you just can't discard
Start the
the Pokemon
Pokemon.
like the Cramorant.
there's no way, there's no Ultra Ball or anything in hand.
90%
A Nest Ball won't work here.
dos babaca lá.
Just putting back in a Sableye and a
O
Cramorant
João não é goiano?
with this Super Rod, it seems like.
O Abel não é goiano?
It's gonna be
Mano,
5
mano.
cards,
É só falar,
and
é só falar
minus
assim,
the
ó.
1 from
Cara,
É só falar assim, ó, o
Cards
Skival é
from
otário.
Super
Não
Rod.
precisa ficar xingando ele de tabela, tá ligado? Fala
Might
direito,
be
mano.
pull it together here and then just
Não
hope
precisa disso,
that this
velho.
Sableye or Cramorant stick around off of this discard 5.
What a very interesting game,
Sei lá,
Jeremy.
acho que vai é muito otário.
Sival, daqui a
velho.
pouco você vai me falar, odeio o Nordeste inteiro, porque os caras
Aquastorm
ficam
not
tudo de lá.
finishing out the game. Sometimes you really do have to go out of your comfort zone, not use your flow chart.
O Juan é goiano,
Having the
Juan é
energies
goiano.
in the deck.
Aqui,
There's
ó.
4
Juan.
energy in the deck.
Yeah, there are 4 energy in the deck. You need to
Se
hit
bem
3
que eu
of
não...
them. And if you hit 3 of them, you can't discard Sableye,
Então,
Psychic, or a Cramorant.
eu nunca tive problema com o Juan, mas
Sweaty,
eu não,
Macho.
mas
I'm not even doing the
eu não
math
vou
on
com a
this
cara
one,
dele
Jeremy.
de alguma forma, tá
We're just
ligado?
gonna Aquastorm and pray. And
There's
Não,
a Judge
não,
Shuffle.
de acordo com os caras ele é. De acordo com os caras ele é.
we go. Azul, declare the attack. No, we still have cards to play.
É verdade.
Yeah, use the Force Seal Stone. You can go ahead and play this loss back. You can get
Vai tá
rid of it.
muito tanque, velho. Ô, Sival, eu jogo muito com árvore e não sabia, velho.
Aquastorm discarding Cramorant.
Psychic,
Oh,
Sableye.
and the Sableye didn't even
É,
hit
então,
the 3
passou minha raiva
energy.
no Goiânia.
Enough energy, 100 damage to both.
Ô, Bastos.
Gardevoir.
Bastos é goiano?
This is heartbreaking for fans of Azul GG, but Edwin is looking to close things out now. Still needs to take a knockout on that Dragonite. Drawing a boss's orders would do it.
Does get the Greninja. Could dig deeper if they could choose to, but things are scary. Does have one more Arcana.
Big 2 cards for Edwin here. Top 8
Counter
on the
catcher?
line. Counter
No,
catcher's not
not
going to
live.
do
Bastos
it.
é.
Again,
Mano, o pai tá muito tanque, velho. Vai tomar no cu.
on Kyogre regardless, but does give Azul an opening benches.
I would love to see the Fog Crystal thin out maybe a little bit before this concealed cards. But again, it depends where Iono put the boss's orders. If it's just on top of the cards put under the bottom of the deck, or if it's on the bottom of the deck.
What is the play? It's gonna be concealed cards here, discarding the
Last
second.
Boss
few
are done.
cards. Boss's orders will win the game.
There it
There
is!
it is! Boss's orders off the top of the deck. And with 90 damage on that Dragonite V, a Gardevoir with the 3 energy will be able to take the knockout and punch Edwin Arroyo into top 8.
What an intense matchup it is.
Or not even in top 8. This is game 3.
This is game
I got ahead of
3.
myself. What? Now there's 3 minutes left to go. I don't know what's going to happen.
Agora
We're
sim
gonna
tudo
tie
faz
up top
sentido,
8 now.
Silver. Agora
That's
tudo faz sentido.
1-1. This is not how I expected this match to turn out, Jeremy. But
Aí, ó.
it's been
Odeio
the
todos os
full
goianos.
50 minutes essentially, and
Ganha tudo otário.
there's been so many swings. I
Inclusive,
think
É só você chegar e falar logo, Sival Borges é otário.
either
Pronto,
way,
acabou,
Bobão.
these
meu.
players don't make it in top
Bobão.
8.
Isso.
They played their hearts out. That's one
Você
of the
fica
most
fazendo a rodeia.
interesting games of
Você ganha,
Pokemon
né?
I've ever seen in my life.
pariu.
Just
Amém, foi bem.
seeing these lines, a normal player just would not have even considered.
É,
And,
achado de
again,
família.
But Edwin Arroyo playing it correctly, benching once he knew what to play around, gets the attack off with the Scream Tail. This Scream
O
Tail,
Bastos.
this was down the
Oh yeah, it was
entire
phenomenal.
match.
It was
O Bastos,
turn
ele é...
2 just going at Azul's
Ele é
bench with
sujo.
roaring Scream, and then just
Ele
knockout
parece
after
mod
knockout
boa, né?
on
Mó-
the active Pokemon thanks to that Manaphy
Parece
from
eu,
Azul.
velho.
But this was the
Eu acho que
big
é sangue
turning
paulista,
point
né?
of the game, attempting a trap on the Gardevoir EX. Trying to just trap it active, but utilizing the...
Ele parece mó de boa e tal, mas por
I
trás
forgot
fala um
it.
monte de...
The extra 90 damage for your Dragon Gale here, taking the big
Ah,
one-hit
vamos lá,
KO.
Rodolfo.
And Azul
É.
playing and sequencing out everything to try to hit this
Really?
Aquastorm,
Ah,
take
não,
the
você não tem
knockout
vergonha
on
de fazer,
both of the
foda-se.
Gardevoirs, but hits both
Mas
of
eu
the
não
sou pau
Pokemon
no
he
cu, eu não
shuffled
queria
back
filhinho
with Super
fudido,
Rod.
mimadinho,
And now we have
otário,
a game
ladrão.
3 here with just under 2 minutes to go.
I think all you can pray
Essa culpa eu
for
não carrego,
is
mano.
get a turbo out, something like a Dragonite, and take a knockout on a Lone Roth. Oh no, sorry, you can always cram knockout. I always forget about the cram rat. That's a little bit easier as Azul does open up the double battle VIP pass. And
Não é meu, Flor, é do
double
cara.
battle VIP pass, getting both the Comfey.
Eu vi uns caras com esse sexo, eu achei mó da hora também.
And yeah, it'll be flowers like
Assim, ó, já cachou, né? Já cachou, né?
Lost Zone does get the Forest Seal Stone, so it has access to pretty much anything they want in the deck. But looking at Edwin's hand, does have the Battle VIP pass, so Yeah, Battle VIP Pass should guarantee at least a couple of Pokemon. Nest Ball now being played for Azul. Gonna find themselves the Dragonite as well here.
Yeah, this is a much better start for Azul that we've seen these 3 games so far. Having that Forest Seal Stone, go ahead and grab the Battle VIP Pass or that Hisuian Heavy Ball, finding a Pokemon from the prize cards here, and gonna set up potentially a good turn 2. But as long as Edwin's able to get down some Pokemon, this is gonna most likely end up in a tie, depending maybe. Yeah, not starting something like the Manaphy or the Radiant Greninja means you can't lose to a Mawile. That would be maybe the one gentleman's agreement that we see. This has been such a weird game, and I think it was just that last turn. Azul kind of overthought it maybe, but just unfortunately had to discard 3 non-energies out of, what, the 4 in the deck? 3 and 5 in the deck?
Yeah, definitely. Some would think maybe we should have just loaded it with energy, just take out both those Pokemon and just hope. But as we do see here, what else has he got to play? Does have the Lost Vacuum, and this is a way to turbo out more cards into the Lost Zone. Count now is 3.
Yeah, I'm still just thinking back to that last that last turn. Kyogre has 130 HP. Screamtail was only doing 120. So if you don't put back the Sableye, put back the Cramorant, and then take the knockout on both Gardevoirs, guaranteed, because now you have 6 cards in your deck. 4 of them are energy. You're going to be getting there. And then you keep the energy and just surf for the knockout with the Kyogre.
That's true. If Azul maybe just put in all energies instead of...
Well, he put all the energies that he had back in the deck, but he just put that extra Pokemon. It was the extra non-energy card that he discarded.
That's true. So if he technically would have gotten the game there, since Screamtail only does 120.
Yeah, and the Manaphy on the bench meant you can't attack the bench. There's 120 on the Kyogre, and then you just attach the last energy in your deck and surf.
That indeed would have been game. That is a thinker.
Ah, não, pô.
With this Battle VIP
Isso daí é derrote monstro com mais ou menos 2 níveis diferentes. Ah, é mesmo, tá
as
certo.
a tie, depending
O
on
meu
both
completou.
players' agreement. But with turn or time being called,
O cara já era pra completar a missão, pô.
turn 0.
You go Battle VIP Pass, find
Vai completar agora.
Give Azul the out.
As we do see, just 2 Ralts now in play. It's impossible to finish the game out.
O café de caminho que monstro do
Playing it
café.
out here.
Sabe?
Does find the Ultra Ball. Just get more Pokemon, maybe. Yeah, there's 4 Ralts now in play, but after such
A Michael liberou uns bagulhinhos aqui.
just
Pá.
Azul missing out on just 1 extra energy, just 1 singular play.
Meu pai tá muito forte, mano.
Cost him, most likely will cost him top 8 along with Edwin here, as they're both in game 3.
Não, pô, às
under
vezes
time,
tem chance de coisar, né?
and Azul has the hot hand no more.
É.
Oh, okay, so what? Again, not much else we can do here. We're playing cards, we're playing Pokemon.
Sim, eu mesmo não. Eu não ganhei um título faz tempo. Esse último que eu tô usando aí é o que eu ganhei da última vez.
Vida, regeneração e aceleração.
Players having just this massive bench. What can you do, Jeremy? What can you do?
Enjoy top 16, maybe, for Edwin. Maybe Azul.
It's time to ring toss.
Yeah, maybe Azul's going to bubble into top 32, sitting at 33 match points after this game. But with both players playing it out, we'll have to see how things shape up. Again, the way time works for the Pokemon TCG is once time's called after 50 minutes, active player's turn is turn 0, then there's 3 more turns after that. So if Edwin was turn 0, that means Azul's going to have 2 turns to try to get an overwhelming board state potentially and say, hey, I'm going to probably win this game. And then depending on if they have an agreement or not, we could see a winner. But other than that,
yeah, Edwin at 34 points after tying.
Yeah, that's going to be top 16 for sure.
Yes.
And I do got confirmation Azul was turn 0. So that means this is Azul's last turn of the game. Could potentially Colress's Experiment, double Comfey into Mirage Gate, Moonlight Shuriken, take a knockout on 2 vaults, and say, hey, I had like the best possible turn 2 I could probably have. I don't know what you can do that might be better. We'll have to see.
Then Edwin responds with a Gardevoir EX, Rare Candy, into Zacian, knockout a Dragonite V, and hey, I just took 2 prizes as well. So.
Yeah.
Oh, but I got carried by the emotions of that.
All the emotions, game. I forgot what game it was. So much stuff happened in that second game compared to the first game where it was just a quick tempting trap scoop.
Yeah, and I just, after the tempting trap, I was almost thinking, oh, this match is, what, 9-10 or something. All it takes is Edwin to take a prize and put down 1 Pokemon, 1 non-ideal Pokemon, or if Azul can bait it out with the Echoing Horn, that's just game, but we saw the outs. Azul breaking a little bit, Edwin getting a little bit lucky.
Yeah.
Or Azul, more importantly, Azul getting unlucky with the discards.
I don't know if it's luck, it might be skill at this point. Mirage Gate is going to be played to charge up that Radiant Greninja. So we are going to see a Moonlight Shuriken here this turn switch and Water Energy in hand.
And yeah, again, Radiant Greninja, just one of the most powerful cards in the game. Moonlight Shuriken able to take 2 prizes. This is Lost Box here. You know, 7 cards in the Lost Zone turn 2, getting 2 extra prizes. I'm sure this is the game Azul wanted to see, but either that or tempting traps, right? And Forest Seal Stone now on that Radiant Greninja, everything on that Radiant Greninja but the kitchen sink, as we do see the switch and the Moonlight Shuriken knocking out 2 Ralts.
Yeah, so it's going to have Azul go down to 4 prize cards. And if their agreement is based on prize cards, that means Edwin's going to have to try to find a boss's orders along with that Gardevoir EX and a bunch of Psychic Energy.
Nem quando eu usei minha ult, vai
going to
tomar
be
no
able to do it here.
Saiu um filme lá no Japão do Kimetsu no Yaiba, você viu?
To take 2 prizes, that's for sure.
Eu moro no Brasil, não moro no Japão.
Ultra Ball, Iono, if you
Vai
Iono,
criar,
you're not
né?
get the boss orders, you're gonna
Quer
have
dizer
to
que
do
todos
double
os
ball here.
animes que você assiste que vêm tecnicamente do Japão,
You
sei.
only
Não
have
liga?
one of those because the other has to turn into the
Entendi.
Gardevoir EX, and you need
Mas enfim,
and you need the boss's orders. It's probably not
Aqui no
enough
banheiro,
to prize this turn, Jeremy.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't know if Edwin's going to be able to pull it off. But again, it's all in the player's hands at this point. We don't know what they've talked about, what they've set up beforehand, and this is the last turn of the game of
Ai, meu nariz.
or of game 3 in our round 15.
Oi.
Yeah, I mean, first one to take prizes in game 3 seems just too favored to Lost Box.
Yeah.
Almost.
Vamos.
Dá uma raiva e
Again,
troço.
Zacian V does have the attack Storm Slash, can take a prize, but Azul did take 2 prizes.
Tem algum boneco novo? Não.
Psychic Energy in hand, you can
Uma
discard it.
porrada desses dois aí é novo, por exemplo.
And you're gonna need like 15 cards off these 2 cards.
One of them is Gardevoir EX, but there was the Ultra Ball already in your hand. With that, Pokestop.
Não, mas é
Rare
novo
Candy.
da partida
Did get to draw 3 cards, but
dos
those 3 cards are
passados
not
ou é
helping at this
novo
point in the
mesmo?
game.
É novo,
You
não.
can Ultra Ball for the Radiant Greninja, use the Fog Crystal to draw 1 extra
Entendi.
card. But then what?
Ela é a vibe.
Super Rod here, gonna put back those Ralts that got knocked out this last turn. You can level ball for one of them back to the bench, but again, if you're not even taking a knockout this turn, which I don't think Edwin has stuff to set up. Azul can just Moonlight Shuriken if there was another turn left, so you could potentially use that as an argument.
That is true. I mean, another second Moonlight Shuriken would definitely technically secure the game going if we had more time, but unfortunately we don't. And all we have now is an Iono. Azul down to 4, Edwin up 6.
Well, I'm going to use this time to update everyone on our players that are potentially locked in for top 8 already. Ryan Antonucci gave the win to Aiden Koos at table 1. Both of them are at 37 match points. That's Gardevoir up against Lost Zone Fox. table 2 was Raymond Long and Tyler Matthews, both of them ID'd, so they're at 36 points, both guaranteed. That's Gardevoir EX and Iron Valiant EX.
É, com menos de
Marcos
45
Valdez
HP.
and Jose Marzon
Não.
at table 3 took the
Aí
ID. Both of them
por
Roaring
você,
Moon
né?
going to 35 match points.
Começa
Hoping that
com
their
bailes
breakers are
aí,
going to
não
be good
deixa
enough. And I
ele
think with this
te
natural
bater.
tie potentially might seal up 35 as a guarantee.
A última eu passei
But
na risca,
the
deu
players are
45.
having a debate right now.
Ooh, yes. Again, Edwin Arroyo, 34 points. Azul should be at 33. Both not quite enough. A little bit heartbreaking here. As, again, both players just discussing, maybe talking about board safe. This is one of those, maybe they're playing the game in their heads. So
Yeah.
you were going to do this, and I would have done this.
Another update, table 4, Ian Robb took down Rowan Stabino. That means a Lost Zone Giratina V-Star squeaks its way into top 8, 36 match points.
There you go. Anyone surprised about that? Not me necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. I'm surprised about no
Tô saindo
Charizard.
aqui, gente. Só entrei mesmo pra dar uma olhadinha.
Como assim você tá saindo?
We did see the
Ficou, vai
big,
ter que. Entrou, vai ter que ficar até 10 horas da noite.
one of the most played
Duvido.
decks, most played decks in day 1
Valeu,
to
bom jogo aí pra
third
você.
most played here in day 2.
Maluco troll,
All
velho.
right, we'll get
vai tomar
confirmation
no cu,
on how
bicho
this game
pelou,
ended
velho.
up for everyone. We're
Irmão.
going to assume right now it's going to be a tie, but
Não vi
we'll let
nada.
you all know.
Quase.
Who? Jeremy.
I need a drink of water after that game too. Like I'm telling you what,
I need an Aqua Storm, that's for sure.
Azul needs an Aqua Storm.
A little bit more energy with the Aqua Storm, though. But yeah, again,
All right, we got confirmation. Edwin concedes to Azul. Azul's setup was just enough to be able to honor that agreement, but I don't know if Azul's going to have the tiebreakers to actually make it in.
Minha cara, pra
Might
quê?
be sitting at 9th place.
Tantos
we'll have to
planos.
see. Just that would be heartbreaking news after heartbreaking news. With
Quero
it.
te amar.
But
Te
again, I
ama.
think either way, Azul played it absolutely, almost perfectly. Played it well, the best of their capabilities.
Six.
And again, the Moonlight Shuriken on that last game and being able to secure-ish a game.
Cuida,
But
Pedinho.
here, you just take a quick
Ai,
look
Alisson.
at, again, just the one knockout that was the doom of that first game, as it just led to a tempting trap of that Jirachi.
Yeah, counter catcher able to be used by Azul after a few turns of just flower selecting and pass, and able to take that game 1 pretty decisively. Now this is the game 2 that is all of the
Eu só
business
tenho duas
here.
opções
Scream
aqui.
Tail turn 2, taking knockouts on Comfey, on Sableye, and just continuing its wreck.
Eles estão
It
jogando
stayed
o quê?
in play the entire game. And Azul
Ai, tá na live, hein?
just trying to do what he can. Took a prize with Cramorant.
Cara, eu cheguei a ver esse jogo, mas nunca
And this was that
peguei pra
big
jogar.
turn
Daorinha?
trap on the Gardevoir EX. You have
É mais
four
pela
teams
nostalgia,
taking
tá
the
ligado?
big knockout with the Dragonite, and then this was
Ai,
the
caralho.
Aqua Storm for all Aqua Storms here. But discards that extra Pokemon he put back in with Super Rod, and then Boss's orders after the last draw. Shining Arcana,
Vai fazer as
concealed
missões
cards,
lá,
Boss's
ó.
orders takes the knockout.
O
Forces the
arrombado.
game
Oh.
3, but with just under 3 minutes to go in game 3. Not really much either player can do, but Azul has that turn to Mirage Gate to kind of force his position and jockeying for this win
Eita,
after the gentleman's
quantas
agreement.
moedinhas? Sorri.
Ooh, what an intense game. I honestly cannot
É o
think
boss.
of
A mini boss
you
e
know,
o boss.
from the other Lost Box game we played where it was just essentially only using that mobile almost, to seeing almost every tool Lost Box has.
Tá falando mal do meu Jordan?
Of,
Viado do
not
caralho.
even every, it was every tool and then some. So you're using the tempting
um
trap
Jordan?
to actually increase your damage output. Yeah. Okay. What else? What else can you do with Lost Box? You know?
Yeah, really Azul just doing everything possible, but may have
Foi o
miscounted
bicho, foi,
on
mano.
that last
Não é
Aqua Storm
maluco?
turn, and it led to Edwin taking the game 2, but it still was fine in Azul's favor anyway, because
Quantas
Edwin ended
vezes
up
eu
conceding into
fiz?
the board state and those prizes, and we just played a few more extra turns, and it'll be interesting if Azul does make top 8 or not, but it's not looking like it.
Aí, eu lembrei que eu sou
All right,
papel.
all right. Again, that would be heartbreaking indeed if you're stuck at 9th in a big tournament like this. I mean, it's Azul. I'm sure there will be other tournaments. There will be other championships. We're just gonna have to stick with the one picture for now.
Yes.
But
Cuidadinho, velho.
we'll have to see
Cuidadinho.
again. But again, great plays. I was just at the edge of my seat with that Aqua Storm. That's why I play a trading card game. For
Everybody wants to be my enemy.
Outs, finding what you need to do and executing
Everybody wants to
it to
be
almost perfection.
my enemy.
And
Caralho.
it looks like
O
the
bicho
other 35 point that has
bate
potential
no
to
vento.
make it in is Jackson Ford from
Ah,
Canada
you-
playing that Lost Zone Giratina. So another Lost Zone Giratina has the potential to make
Bravo.
it in the top 8. And I think it's going to be between him, Azul, Jose, and Kamal for those 35 points to try to make it in.
Ooh, all right. With that, you know what,
Ult
Jeremy?
brocada das
You
sombras.
really want to hear from the one and only Azul GG. So let's get to the interview.
Hello and welcome back to our lounge. I'm sitting here with our winner from the last round, Azul Garcia Griego, getting to 35 match points, playing the Kyogre with the Mawile. Feels like it's been a while since the
Everybody wants
Kyogre's
to
been
be my
busted out.
enemy.
Tell us about that.
You just stole the deck name there. Did I tell you about that last night? I thought I mentioned it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a little while since we were on the Kyogre. We let Grant pick the deck for this tournament. So we went along with Grant with the Kyogre Marl. Grant's actually been trying to play this for like months. He's bringing it up, he's trying to get
Tempo do
down.
fogo.
Caraca,
but
me matou,
he
velho.
got his say this time around.
onde está?
We ran it here. And I think Aiden might be in cut with
Ah,
it as
Manova.
well right now. So you know,
I
the
think
deck's,
Aiden's in there, yeah.
yeah, so the deck's doing pretty well right now. So
Rapaz, tá bruto agora.
So yeah, the went with the Ogre, but just with that, Grant wanted to play Ogre, we're with Ogre.
Yep, went with the Ogre, and it ends up being pretty
Ali,
good.
ó.
You did
Você não
well,
vai
Caleb did
terminar
pretty
uma
well,
ali, tá
obviously. He was playing
desequipada
Saber,
a
playing
habilidade
Minion
ali.
into top 8.
No seu.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about
Oh,
what
não,
happened there.
velho,
After
que
that
porra
game,
é
you
essa,
were
velho?
maybe a little
Habilidade
confused on all that.
especial.
You guys were tied going into game
Tal.
3, not a lot of time left.
Esmagamento, não sei o que lá. O seu tava como desequipado.
Yeah, so me and Aiden, or
Apareceu nas suas.
me and Edwin basically agreed on board state for our gentleman's agreement, and so that's basically whoever he thinks can win. Like if Edwin there had gotten a way to bump my Pokestop or Candy Gardevoir, I would have conceded, because I don't think I'd be able to actually replicate a powerful attack on my next turn. But with the lack of the bump of the
Ué, você deu
Pokestop
play
and
na hora,
then,
quando tava lendo?
attack, KOing my Greninja.
You get to see so many cards.
Yeah, I had like 2 switch card in hand. The Pokestop was still in play. I was pretty confident I'd be able to find a Mirage Gate, be able to attack again with Greninja there. And that's basically what the deck tries to set up. It's like, you can't play your Jirachi down, you can't play your Manaphy down, so you get those early Moonlight Shurikens in the Guardy matchup if they don't play the Turo, and then you try and take over with the Greninja in the early game. And that's basically what was going on there. I mean, it would have been nice to have had a little bit more time to see a couple more turns, but yeah, it got cut a little bit short. But I appreciate Edwin, honoring our agreement.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's what it comes down to, right? 50 minutes, best of 3. It's not always enough time to finish 3 full games of Pokemon,
Yeah.
and especially in instances with a deck like Gardevoir that's a little slower, with a deck like yours that's aiming to, stall things out with the Mawile. I want to talk to you about this end game sequence a little bit. Kind of an awkward scenario here, playing the Super Rod, going for the Kyogre when it's not quite guaranteed.
Cara,
Talk to us about
Sabe
what
o
was going through your
problema
mind in
desse
this
jogo?
sequence, because we can tell
É
you're really
tanto
thinking through
efeito que
it.
tem hora que não dá pra entender
Yeah,
nada
so
que tá
basically,
acontecendo.
I was in a situation where I could KO both of the Gardevoirs there, but I had to make sure I don't take out
É
at the
tudo,
same time while still
sei
having
lá,
a win
muito
condition.
colorido. Sei.
And I was basically able to do that,
eu
but I
sou
did
ruim
with
mesmo.
the energy. I put
Pode
2
ser
Pokemon back. I could have put 1 Pokemon back and guaranteed the 3 energy
Horrível.
to
Ué,
KO the
os jogos com isso
Gardevoirs,
defeito,
but then I only give myself
muito
1 turn to
efeito.
finish the game, and I felt like I wanted the extra turn or just maybe just the ability to attack with Cramorant at the end if a 1 prize knockout had happened. So I
Was
wanted to
Surf
frame
on the
this in
table in your mind to try to close it out? That was something that they were discussing backstage. Surf with the Kyogre. If you clear both the Gardevoirs, right?
Yeah,
you just
then I
need
look-
what you need an energy for the Surf with Kyogre to KO the Screamtail. Screamtail can't KO the Kyogre, right?
Yeah. I would have needed my last energy off my prize cards though, because I didn't have any energy in hand. I had 0 energy in hand at that point. They were all going back to the deck to get discarded.
Lay it
So I had
down,
1 water
down,
prize.
down, lay it
So I guess I
down,
could have
down.
relied on that. One of my thoughts behind putting an extra Pokemon in my deck is that it increased the odds of energy staying in the bottom 2 cards of my deck. But I don't even know if that makes any sense. Like, I was just trying to do the math really fast in my head. You could see how long it took me to execute the turn there.
And you still have to, of course, keep up tempo
yeah,
of the
yeah.
game. You maybe, in a perfect world, you
Brocada.
can take as much time as you want and figure out the exact calculations. But tournament constraints, you got to play pretty quickly.
Definitely. Yeah, I probably should have just played to guarantee the Kyogre and then hope to hit the energy of the prize cards. It was my last prize card, so I wouldn't have got there. But that probably should
Caralho, minha ult demora muito pra voltar, velho.
It could have been an energy, could have been a Pokemon, and then if it is an energy, I think I have game as well because I had
Os
Escape Rope,
itens
Switch
novos
Card,
fazem
Echoing
diferença, já
Horn, maybe
batemos no
just Escape
nosso
Rope, Switch
head.
Card. Maybe no, the Echoing Horn did get mailed off the Kyogre attack, so it's possible Edwin could have put down like Zacian, Greninja, and then I would have decked out. So
Sure. Yeah, lots at play, right? And then it does end up being kind of the uncommon whiff of the energy on the Kyogre. Didn't quite get every little piece that you needed, but have to imagine the Aqua Storm has been pretty solid for you through the weekend. You know, you've got this is like just a true win condition deck, right? You kind of react to what your opponent does. You can be aggressive with the Dragonite and the Cramorant. You can play for the late game with the Kyogre, and then in certain matchups, go for the Mawile. You know, how do you balance out so many different options, deciding what's right in the given time?
I mean, it's mostly matchup based. There are like some situations that come up where you do something in a matchup where you wouldn't
Oh,
normally do.
let me sorry.
Like I beat a Roaring Moon earlier without
Everybody
even using
wants
the
to
Kyogre
be
because the
known
Dragonite
as
forces them into a frenzied gouging, which just puts the prize trade on board in your favor usually. You know, you like open up with a Cram hit maybe, or they get the first prize card, you spawn with Dragonite, they frenzy gouging, and they can Sable Eye or Ninja from there, clean stuff up. You don't even need the Ogre, but it is very good in that matchup. So it's just like really situational, but generally, you know when you want Ogre, you know when you don't want Ogre, most of the time.
And in that game too, you know, not only did it come down to kind of that end game, the Kyogre play, there was also really another really cool play that you went for in that game. Mawile Tempting Trap on the Gardevoir EX, so you could KO it on the next turn. Is that something you find yourself doing often as well, or is that a rarer scenario?
It's come up a couple times where I've thought about it in the Gardevoir matchup, and I think Edwin did overcommit energy in play quite a bit, and didn't really see that play coming until I did it. And I mean, I didn't know what Edwin's prizes were, but if the last two prize cards were energy, I think I could have trapped the Gardevoir in the active for the rest of the game.
Tipo, eu liberei isso aqui, é tipo uma
I'm pretty sure the
passiva.
Gardevoir will be able to attack at some point. So with that in mind, I'm just going to trap it here for a turn. I'll figure it out later. Then I got into my next draw. I was able to get the Dragonite knockout. I could have waited for like one more turn probably and been safe, but I was like, all right, just go for the Dragonite right now. Maybe I should have waited for one more turn. I might have gotten a cleaner Kyogre at the end of the game if I had waited. But I was like, let's just do it now. Especially after I got Iono'd. So Edwin Iono'd himself, you know, doesn't get to drop as much with the Gardevoirs yet, doesn't have as many options. So they're all right, just go for the KO now. We'll see where it goes from here.
Aqui, ó.
You've been so consistent this season. You know, you've had some kind of rougher tournaments, but you know, most recently, I mean, you won the San Antonio Regional Championships. You had the string of two other top 8s in a row, 3 total top 8s in a row with that San Antonio win, and then now you find yourself here really close. You're at that 35 match points mark. We'll have to see exactly where it breaks down, 8th, 9th, somewhere in there. What do you think the key is to being as consistent as you have been the last couple of months? And obviously, all of this as well, coming off of a top 4 finish at this year's World Championships.
I just playing well on the day is like the biggest thing. I actually don't even think I played that well this weekend. I had a lot of ties and losses that could have become ties or wins, so or a couple of them. Enough that I should have. If I'd played better, you know, I'd have had more match points. I mean, who knows what I end up against, you know? If I do get a win or a tie when I got something worse, but. Yeah. I mean, just trying to play well on the day is really the biggest. Play a decent deck and then play well on the day. It's like
compra por cash.
Without a doubt. Well, we appreciate your time, Azul. We'll get back out there, try to see exactly where the standings shape up, see where you find yourself. In the meantime, though, let's get back to our casters.
I got it.
That's great to hear from Azul. And again, it was just that one uncommon energy that he wasn't able to really discard. No, but yeah, again, great plays. I believe he didn't quite make it 9th, I believe. But again, I'm 100% confident it's not going to be the last time we're going to see him. With that, we are just really cleaning things up, really preparing for the top 8 match. So I just want to take this time to remind everyone to make sure you go ahead and follow us in all our socials, on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, /Pokemon, or
você lembra como libera o modo difícil das missões?
Twitch. Right now, you have the capability, you have the power to really decide on what
modo hard.
The top 8 match is going to be. What top 8 match we're going to be streaming. Anyway, you don't have the power to decide who's in top 8. That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these matchups in this bracket plays out. Be sure to vote when the poll is live on Twitch to see who you want to feature for our top 8 stream here. Other than that, that is round 15. That does it for the Swiss rounds. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to have top 8 ready for y'all, so don't go anywhere.
Porque ali aparece, tipo, quando a gente cria a sala, aparece, você quer criar modo normal? Não tinha um modo difícil antes? Não é, mais hard, sei lá.
I'm back over at the ring toss area. It is time for someone to
Whoa.
win the giant jumbo Wailord plush. Jeff, why don't you explain to everyone exactly what's happening here?
Okay, so in the shootout, there's
Usa
gonna be a
habilidade,
process
Simão,
of
você
each
não tá
players
usando,
get
não.
3 rings. What they'll do is they'll throw from a
É
line
2 vezes que
further
tem que usar
back than
ela.
what they normally
E é a
would.
habilidade A ali, ó. É só o A.
All they have to do is ring at least 1. If they can ring more, that's awesome. But what it's going to be is a shootout
Ah, mas eu
style.
acho que
They'll
não
each
sei
go
nem
in
isso.
order.
Ah, não. Aí
If anyone
foi.
makes
Pontuou
none,
já.
then they'll go to the next round. If one of them makes 1, that person automatically wins, so on and so forth.
So they have an opportunity. If someone makes one, other people have an opportunity to try to make one as well to tie it up and go again.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's get our contestants' names. One of these 4 lucky people is going to walk away with a Wailord. What's your name?
Hey, I'm Kyle.
Kyle, how are you feeling? Are you confident?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, engraçado que
No
aqui
confidence.
eles
Low
não te
confidence
jogam
level. What's
pro
your name?
começo da tela igual era
How are you
antes, né?
feeling, Joshua?
I feel pretty fair.
Nossa, ou era um
A
caralho,
little
velho.
bit better than
Vai tomar
Kyle.
no
Okay,
cu.
we'll see. All right, what's your name?
I'm Bruce.
Bruce, how are you feeling, Bruce?
I have ran this for Vince before, so I'm confident.
We've got the most experienced one possibly here. Okay, and what's your name?
I'm Kaylee.
Kaylee, okay. And how are you feeling, Kaylee?
Brocada Suprema.
That's all right. It's all in good fun. These 4 are going to have their opportunity to try to win this big Wailord. Let's go ahead and line up. Whoever's going first. I'll lead it to you, Jeff.
Não, velho. Tem um Master que tá parado no bar.
On the 3rd line, and then we'll have you go next. Kaylee, and Birthday Boy gets the follow-up.
All right. 3 rings apiece. Once again, trying to get all the way around the blue box. They have to get all the way around. It can't be leaning on top. It has to be all the way around the base. First shot coming up here. Excellent form, but not quite able to secure a point. One more throw. That one's a lot closer, but still not
Finalizou o
quite.
tempo do fogo.
And the 3rd shot does not come through. We've got our next contestant up here.
Shootout also, earlier before, if it went prompt, they had a chance to knock it out. Shootout, if it's like that, they take it off. It's got to be a clean, fresh shot.
Got to be a clean shot all the way around. We got 3 more contestants. Who is coming away with the big Wailord? Not quite on the board. That one's close. Oh, so close. Does not come all the way through. Has to land all the way on the base, all the way around the square. No points scored there. Contestant number 3, the toss. Another one that's close, but not quite. One more doesn't quite make it. Last shot, and oh, bounces out. And we have our 4th contestant here, the experienced one. We'll see if he gets this, he wins, correct? If he gets this, he wins the Wailord. 1 shot, 1 more shot here. Does he make it? No.
We go to the next round, and we'll do it again.
All right, one more time.
Cara, eu
here.
lembro que antigamente pegava
Someone has got to come
85
away
no
with it.
boneco, era mó
We're going to go
foda.
until someone wins, correct, Jeff? We go until someone wins. Here we are.
Era foda bagaré.
Let's see if we see any strategy adjustments. Different forms. There's a toss, not quite. Another one that bounces right off. So incredibly close, but not quite strong enough. Here we go. Another
Cara,
one bounces right off.
segredo.
Very close
Tema é
again.
o seguinte.
Another bounce. And here we go. Another 3rd final throw. And does not make it. Does not quite make it. She did hit 3. Yes, earlier on for the qualifier, Kaylee here was able to make 3. Just needs 1 hit here. 1 hit. Best shot. 1 more throw. Let's see if she can do it. And,
A minha tá quase empatando.
down the back of the wall. Bruce here making his 2nd attempt.
Meu
If he
Lego tá
can
quase
secure
no
this, he
limite
gets
já.
the Wailord. 1 more shot here. Can he do it? And it bounces right off. 3rd time's the charm. Someone's got to win this thing. We'll see what happens.
Now that we're going into round 3, no one's got there yet. We bump it up to 4 rings each now.
So they're going to have 4 opportunities here, up from the 3 they had previously. It's getting tense. These competitors, all 4, want to come home with the Wailord. How they're getting it home,
Brocada.
that's going to be up to them. It takes up a lot of space in the car. If you flew, good luck. We'll see what happens. Here we go. 4 throws. There's number 1, down, does not land. Number 2 circles around, doesn't quite fall. Here we go, throw number 3. And the final 4th throw. Oh, once again, so close, so close. Someone will win this thing eventually. There's a throw. The bounce does not land. We get one more throw, does not work either. 2 shots remaining. Once again, a miss. One more shot here. And no, okay. Okay. Here we go, 4 tries. There's 1 down, no hit. Second throw, oh, so close, bouncing just off the box. We got our Carnival Master Jeff here, analyzing every situation, keeping his eye on the ring, and it was so close, so close. Here we go, 1 more try here. 4 tries, I should say. There's number 2.
Aprimorar
Number 3,
sistema de
and then 1 more
aceleração.
for Bruce. No, not quite.
All
Inventário,
right, now that we're going into the 4th round, they're going to come up to the second line with 4 rings.
Dá
We're
pra
going to scoot him up a
desmanchar
little
isso.
bit, give him a little bit more of an opportunity to try to get the Whale Lord. Who's getting this bad boy home? Let's see it.
Pô.
We got 2 throws down. 3rd throw. Oh, that's another close one.
Aí ele dá uns
Can't quite
cristalzinhos
close
doidos.
it out, and again, is a miss. Up to the second line. Here we are. Here we go. Our
Tá,
4th
bora no outro lado.
round.
Pra
Yeah, we can lean forward, lean him forward.
Ponte infernal, é isso?
Cannot fall. If he falls, it doesn't count.
Ele tá 47 ali.
Very
ele tá
close,
46.
keeping the balance, and
Não,
oh,
pô,
it bounces
é o
right
outro.
off. That was so
É o
close.
castelo de Kazekage.
Another bounce. Oh, so
É.
close.
Não,
Maybe
vi.
the best
Uma
technique
chata do
we've seen
caralho.
so far, though. Really leaning into it, using the arms to his advantage. Here we go. We got 3 more tries here. Oh, almost off the bank shot. We got another throw. No, not quite. And 4th and final try on this round is not successful. Not successful.
Bryson deu
Now,
quadra
Bruce,
aqui.
here, before we get going, I understand it's your birthday, yes?
It is my birthday.
Would it be really cool to win a Wailord on your birthday?
It would be amazing to win it.
Well, let's see if you can do it. Wife's favorite Pokemon as well. 4 tries. Let's see if Bruce can do it. There's 1 throw. No. 2 throws. No. 3rd. Not quite. Last toss. Last try. And it doesn't come through.
As da fase o que eu tenho que
We're going
matar
again. 5th round. Here
4
we
Mago
go.
Negro.
All the...
e
Guys, we are
explorar
making this as
isso.
easy as possible for you, as we can. Someone's got to win this dang thing.
Ó,
Here we
Tem
go.
2 Mago Negro aqui. Já.
Slide back just a little bit. Here we go. We got so close. Could not be any closer. Oh, look how close it is.
Oh,
Doesn't
Mago
fall
Negro.
through. It has to, once again, the base of the ring has to go all the way down to the bottom. Has to cover the square completely. Is this legal here? What are we doing? Penalty. Here we go. Can't quite cross the line. It's got to be a toss. Can't quite set it.
Pô, não tô entendendo, velho. Caralho.
It's got to be a toss. Cannot drop it over. It's got to be some forward momentum here. Not quite. So close. So close.
Ó, mais 2 Mago
Oh,
Negro.
okay. First chance. Was able to get one. So now our last 2
Cara, não
players
enxerguei nada
have an
que
opportunity
aconteceu.
to tie this up. Or win it if they can get more than one. Here we go. 4 rings to throw. Not quite working there. Toss number 2. We got toss number 3 coming up now. And final throw. Last chance to tie, and it does not work. All right, Bruce.
Boa, assim, vamos.
2 to win, 1 to tie. Let's see if he can do it. 2 to win, 1 to tie.
No
There's the second
final.
toss. 2 more rings. 1 more shot to tie. Can he do it? And no! Our
Tá pulando sem a
Wailord
perereca,
winner!
louco. Loucura.
Congratulations! Incredible. You're good. No.
Pô, tá.
There he is
Ah, é o
coming through.
Les,
Look
né?
at this big
Puta que
boy.
pariu.
Incredible. Hey, I gotta ask. He's getting a round of applause from the crowd out here. We've formed quite the crowd. How does it feel? How does it feel to hoist that Wailord up above your head?
I only have one thing to say.
Yes. Ah! There we go. You heard it here. Thanks so much for playing, everyone. Congrats to all our contestants. You never know what's going to happen at a Pokemon Regional Championships.
Não, é o dragão, né? Não sei. Ah, pô, bota pra baixo, porra. É só clicar pra baixo. Acho que foi.
First time regional player. Top of the ladder right there, Alexander Platos. Getting the job done here in the top 4 now. What a game we just saw. What a series.
É, só.
Meu Deus, essa daí é a boneca nova do Grand Chase.
É, só por favor.
It had a high percentage of playing, and then Rhydon came in and shut it down. So I thought it was a good chance to bring it in, thinking, oh, no one's gonna play Lugia.
Não, peraí, eu tô vendo a do Dom. Ah, tem a do soco e tem essa outra, né? Eu esqueci.
It really goes off a price trade, hoping that if I go first, they don't turn one knockout since they really can do that. If they're not able to, I can potentially steal a game. But other than that, they're pretty much ahead the most time.
Here we This is how we play Pokemon. There's nothing much to do other than laugh at that point.
Zul, he's playing Lost Box Kyogre. He was very tough. Beat me round 1, I beat him round 2. Round 3, I just didn't get the engine to get where he needed to be, so I got a little lucky on that part. And was able to take it. Wasn't able to get it in my hand. I had the Weirdeer in hand.
Usando o ataque por trás. 10 vezes. Conquiste a classificação B.
Pokemon TCG. Alexander is in the driver's seat.
It feels amazing. It's something I didn't expect. I come in
Depois de
trying to win,
2
but
horas
something
de
where I'm playing
jogo.
with a bunch of amazing players, pro players, players who do this all the time. I respect all these people out here in the field. So it's something where I feel very honored and it's very surreal for me.
A lot of new faces. This is what I always hope to see, Kyle. Is some new names making their places known.
It means a lot. It's something where I have a good backing with my friends. It means a lot to test and have a good time. It really gives a sense of purpose. Like I won, I have my friends back. You know, they did real well. So it's just something where I feel
A outra eu
a
só
lot
fiz
more
C,
winning for it.
A minha não combina. Ainda mais agora se afastando do time. Pronto, fiz B. Ah não, tem que terminar com acima.
Trato de
B ou mais.
anticiparme al meta, tratando de buscar las mejores soluciones o el mejor mazo.
E é individual, eu achava que era em grupo isso.
Estadística de los mazos más utilizados y trato de responder a ese meta.
I play test with my friends, play against other decks. Look for certain matchups. Guardy, I need to look for that one. That's probably the hardest matchup for me.
Leading up to event, I like to practice with my dad, to play TCG live all the time, and spent 8 hours a day just trying and trying to make something work.
Eu escolhi o Miraidon X para usar como deck, porque eu achei ele mais consistente, até para a questão de ataques.
First I look at the
Deu ataque, deu 26k no bicho.
and then start testing the decks that are more comfortable to my gameplay.
Eu acho que esse ataque é mais forte que minha ult. O meu, eu dei. Não, tem uma que ele carrega a chavinha, tá ligado?
Todas as semanas com os meus amigos.
Ó,
Aí a gente
essa
vai
daqui,
testando
ó.
todos os decks
Ela carrega
meta,
papapá.
e a gente
Aí, ó,
vai jogando em
27k.
si pra ver qual deck fica melhor com as configurações atuais. I've made many friends during all these years. I've been in the community since
Eu não sei se qual que dá mais não. Em teoria a ult devia dar mais.
Me and my dad will just sit
Ó.
on like
Chavinha.
our dining table, practice, and then we
Ah,
go
o bicho
to
tá
an
com
event.
brock de
Then we practice at the tournament, and then we just get ready for the event.
Welcome back in, everyone, to our
vai tomar no cu,
Regional
velho.
Championship
Eu
here on the trading
eu
card
odeio isso.
game side of things.
O boneco não tá em dano,
We have had a
simplesmente.
very intense day 2 here, but things are finally
Ai,
narrowing it
caralho.
down. I'm Shelby Boo, here with Pablo Meza,
Ele tá
and
comendo
we're
meu
going to
cu
bring
no
you
front.
through our next
Nossa,
round,
ficou
which
fatal, né?
happens to be our featured top 8 match. Pablo,
Vou morrer
going
senão eu
into
morto.
day 2, There were a lot of decks that we saw. Let's take a look at the deck layout, our conversion rate into our day 2 of Knoxville Regional Championship.
Roaring Moon has been dominating the field. It was, I feel like, at the top table the whole tournament. We have
Acabou no B, velho. Perigoso.
Tina Vista, of course, one of the top decks of the format. Charizard, Lost Box showing back big time this tournament.
Yep, a lot of decks we are familiar
É 6, pô. Falta 2 minutos pra 6.
What did our top 8 decks end up ironing out as? Let's take a look. Who's in our top 8? What decks are in our top 8? And what we're about to get into for our match as well.
Indeed, a couple Gardevoir, your favorite deck ever.
Infernal. Derrotaram Lich ou mais.
Giratina V-Stars, a couple Roaring Moon, an Entei,
Valiant,
and a Lost Box deck. A lot of
capinha, capaçote.
Which is, I think,
tem
the
um
big
acessório
story.
aqui, ó. Asa selvagem.
But no
Nice.
show in date.
Tem uma asa.
Yep, Roaring
Ganham
Moon has taken the cake for
prática
that
de
dark
ataque
Pokemon
no
deck
pulo.
here. We have 2 in our top 8.
Virou uma passiva.
And we actually gave the top 8 decks to you all to vote for who's going to be featured in our next match, our top 8 match. Let's take a look
como é que
at
você
the
tem aqueles
bracket,
bagulhinhos
who
ali, ó?
was
Não
facing
tem
off
esses bagulhos.
with each other, and who we're about to see on stream as well.
É.
Brian Antonucci against Jackson Ford,
Moral.
Ian Robb against Tyler Matthews, Raymond Long against Joseph Marcen, and Kamal Crooks versus Aiden Kuz. A lot of really familiar names.
Não, você tem uns
a lot of top
rosinha
players here,
ali, uns
and
bagulhinhos.
for example, Kamal and Tyler
Ali,
really
ó.
trying to make their name
Aí, da direita.
stand out in the crowd.
É, ó.
Yep, a lot of familiar names, a lot
Mas
of
é
good
aquele
matchups
rosinha,
here
você
as
ganhou
well.
ponto.
But you all chose to feature
No
Kamal
topo,
versus
filho da mãe.
Aiden
Caralho.
there, and we're going to be getting
Pra
into
baixo,
that very
desgraça.
soon here.
Meu
Our
Deus.
players are
E
getting
direita,
prepped,
direita, direita.
ready to go very
Isso.
soon to jump
Isso.
into this match. And
Onde
I
você
mean,
pegou
I feel
isso?
like all weekend the community choice has landed on Roaring Moon, and once again we're going to see a Roaring Moon coming up here, potentially having a spot to make it into our top
Eu não ganhei isso
4.
aí, não,
This is
velho.
going to be so intense, Pablo. I am excited.
Não ganha,
I am
meu
so
ovo.
excited, and
meu
we're
ovo
actually
na tua
ready to
cara.
go at the stage. Let's head to the table to
Não
look
ganhei
at
isso
our
aí, não.
players.
Cachorro.
Yep, huge accomplishment here. They have grinded through 2 days of competition to make it to
faz
this
monte que eu
point
não
into
peguei.
our top 8. Over here on the
Calma
left,
aí,
we
deixa eu
have
sair.
Kamal. And you see right
Quest
here, 2017
repetitivo.
Daytona Regional Top 32.
Ah, mas eu tô com uma missão aqui que eu tenho que aprimorar item, velho. Travou o bagulho.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen
Não, mas o
Kamal
seu é
a lot
diferente do
this
meu.
season.
O meu não tem esse.
Piloting that Roaring Moon deck,
Ataque
which
total.
has been quite popular as of late, has been the
O meu
talk
não
of the
tem.
town, if you will.
All right, and over here on the right side, we have Aiden Koos as well.
O meu não tem
Lots
isso
of
aí, não.
accomplishments here. Toronto Regional Top 32, EUIC Top 8, and
Ah, mas aí-
3, Charlotte Regional
aí é
Champion,
troll.
and NAIC Top 6.
Mas aí é
so
troll
Aiden
pros
Koos, a
outros.
very accomplished player, going to be piloting
Só
a
ganha a
Lost
boneca nova.
Box,
Aí foda.
variant, I suppose we could say. I think Azul was just in an interview talking about how Aiden is now in top cut. with
Mas
a
o que você
kind of
gastou
similar deck
de
as Azul
cash
was
ali, ó?
piloting. So,
Yeah,
De
pretty
GP.
similar
Eu
list,
tenho
almost
1.200 aqui.
identical. So
Será
we're in
que é
for
porque eu
a
já tinha
Kyogre,
um
we're in
boneco?
for a potential Mobile trap as well.
Ali,
We're
ó,
about to see
VP
the
ali
prize
embaixo,
cards,
suas
2
moedas.
Darkness Energies for Kamal. A lot of variety for Aiden. Nothing too crucial. Perhaps that super rod at the very top. If you're planning a big Kyogre play, you need to get back a lot of resources. So not having access to that super rod could be a little problematic towards the end of this game. But we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see how these flower selectings go.
all right, we have the fist bump. Things are underway here in our Masters Top 8. Kamal Crooks Valdez versus Aiden Koos. How's it going to play out? We'll have to wait and see. Aiden is starting things off here on the right side of our player field with a flower selecting. Very familiar here, but it's between a Comfey and a Colress's Experiment straight off the bat.
Yeah, usually this would be a fairly straightforward decision. The issue is Aiden's hand's just not really great. Does have the Pidgeot V as backup and not much else. So, of course, you'd like to grab the Colress Experiment for later, but you know you're up against an extremely aggressive deck. I don't think you can afford to lose 2 prizes immediately on the Pidgeot V or to lose your single Comfey.
Yeah, that is tough indeed, and the Chorus's experience is going to be the one going to the Lost Zone, something we do not see very often, which really emphasizes that there, along with a Mirage Gate as well for the second card in the Lost Zone here.
Yeah, we did see one of the Chorus being prized as well, so Eden now has a total of 2 Choruses left in their deck without having played a single one. That's never a great start when you're a Lost Box player, and Eden also doesn't know that until he checks his prizes, which now he can't because the Hizuya Navy Ball is now on the prize card. So very tough choices right off the bat, and this is one of the potential issues when you choose to play Lost Box.
Wow, why are we always passing such clunky hands? Pablo, this is wild. Hizuya and Heavy Ball joining the Lost Zone here, which, like you said, Aiden's not going to get a glance at those prize cards now. Kamal kicking off this first turn here with the trekking shoes, discarding that dark energy here for the next card.
Yeah, you definitely benefit from having energy in your discard pile, so not a big deal. We're going to see back-to-back trekking shoes. This might actually be Ross Cotton's exact 60 cards, if I'm not mistaken. There's no Pokemon catchers this time around that I can see, so no exciting content.
Cara, pra mim os itens aqui devia ser tudo auto loot, tá
Bummer,
ligado?
but hey, the trekking shoes, they're trekking here. Ultra Ball going to the discard pile for a Pokestop off that next card here for Kamal. So when we were discussing this matchup, Pablo, we were kind of talking about how Kamal really needs to be fast and aggressive and just overbear Aiden in this point in time. And honestly, Aiden has had, again, kind of like an awkward start, so there is potential for that. What do you think we need to see from Kamal here on this opening turn?
So ideally, you would love to start getting prizes from the very first turn, whether it's with a Roaring Moon or a much easier Morpeko KO on that 70 HP Convey. That would be something that Kamal would love to do. However, as you mentioned, Aiden did have that sloppy-ish start, but if you're on the other side of the table and you don't know what Aiden is holding in their hand, you see a Colress hit the Lost Zone, usually you assume they're already holding one. That's why they could afford getting rid of one. That's not the case here, but Kamal doesn't necessarily have that information yet that Aiden is off to a clunky start, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But Kamal, definitely ideal setup right now is the Morpeko. However, we've been talking about the possibility to trap with Mowile and how likely that is in this matchup, right? So if Kamal wants to be aggressive here, he would have to utilize either a switch card or an escape rope, and that's one less switching card. And the one Pokemon that Aiden can trap is the Radiant Greninja.
Yes. Yep, which is in play in the active position right now. Pokestop gonna roll, discard 3 cards there, including that Morpeko there, Pablo.
Yep.
Wow, that is unlucky here. We're gonna see a concealed cards now off this Radiant Greninja, but sheesh. You play so many items, you would have loved to see those.
Yeah, we're here praising Morpeko, and then we're definitely not seeing Morpeko this game for sure. Now, double Dark Patch will be happening, plus attachments, so Kamal is 1 energy away from being able to start applying that pressure, and it's fine. Yeah, you would have preferred to do it with Morpeko. It's fine to do it with Roaring Moon. The important thing is to just make sure you are applying pressure, taking a prize each turn, because you're definitely playing against a sort of clock towards that Kyogre.
Absolutely. Yeah, Aiden has a lot to go to set up toward that Kyogre if that's the play Aiden chooses to go. Professor's Research going to bring 7 new cards here to Kamal's hands. Honestly, the hands, they've been flying. It's easy to forget. This is still first turn here for Kamal, going second in this match. So Battle VIP Pass is currently in play, and Kamal just drew into 2 of them.
Yeah, the whole Battle VIP Pass found pretty much the dream, right?
Yep.
Can't complain about that. And I don't think we're going to see a stretch for Squawk and Seize this turn. I don't think Kamal's really missing anything at this point. Even has Energy Switch to potentially transfer an energy to the active Radiant Greninja through Galarian Moltres V and be able to retreat that way, saving both the switch card and the escape rope.
Yep, and this is what we've been seeing pretty much all weekends from our Roaring Moon players that we've gotten to feature. Just fast pace, a lot of things happening every turn, and just that pure aggression can just dominate in these matchups. And if it's just too much for your opponent to stand up to, then you can take some wins pretty quickly in some of these games.
Yeah, certainly, and we're definitely in for an interesting game here. Now, the Battle VIP pass
eu
obviously
acho que
sets
não
Kamal
dá
up very nicely, has the 3
Ah,
Pokemon that
agora-
can attack,
agora eu
apply
acho que
pressure,
vai.
take prizes. However,
Agora sim.
it definitely lends itself to a situation
Que é
where
3 contra 3.
now their targets for
Eu
Kyogre
tava
are
no
there.
seu time, tá
Right, so
ligado?
even
O
though
cara que era
Aiden got a
o...
clunky start, even though he might even struggle to be able to utilize Colress at any point, he needs to find 1 KO on a Roaring Moon, and then he needs to find the Kyogre play. And he definitely has potentially 6 turns to do so, as long as he doesn't bench 2 prize Pokemon,
Agora
which he only
começou.
plays 2 of. So
Tá
Aiden
pretinho, acho que
under
não.
pressure, but still has quite a few turns to be able to try to play and piece out this 2 prize into Kyogre.
And look at that. A lot of things just happened there, Pablo. We saw the Dire Flame wings from the Galarian Moltres, the energy switch there, the retreat out of the Radiant Greninja into the Roaring Moon. We saw the Dark Patch as well to attach that Roaring Moon EX on the bench, and the Calamity Storm knockout, getting rid of that Pokestop that was in play. Aiden's not going to be able to utilize that. And first prize card down here for Kamal. Aiden gonna have to respond quickly here. Let's see what we're working with so far. 4 cards in the Lost Zone as of now off that flower selecting.
And found a Colress of that flower selecting. Very, very nice when there's only 2 left in the deck. So that Iono actually got Aiden closer to the Colress. We'll be getting 6 cards into the Lost Zone, and we can start being a little aggressive with Cramorant, or potentially, if Aiden has the right combination, could switch into a Comfey, get to 7, and take a return KO with Dragonite V. That would be really impressive to see here.
Yeah, that would be wild indeed. Well, Lost Zone is up to 6 now. Battle VIP Pass and that Lightning Energy joining the fray. Switch cards going to the discard pile here to fire off the second flower selecting for Aiden, and Radiant Greninja going to join the Lost Zone here in favor of Water Energy.
Yep,
Yeah.
Water Energy,
Não,
and
mas acho que
has
não dá nem
the
pra te bater.
Dragonite,
Ah, dá.
and has the Mirage Gate, so there's a Lightning and a Water still left in the deck. Aiden will be able to take this KO, so
Eu não sabia.
coming off of a potentially clunky start into, now you're ahead in the prize cards, and you have a bunch of turns to play to piece out the Kyogre play.
Yeah, I mean, we were discussing how incredible this Dragonite is in this matchup, potentially if you can utilize it. And that's exactly what Aiden is doing here, responding after that first KO with the Dragonite V.
Now, this is an issue for Kamal because the Dragon Gale will take a knockout on Roaring Moon, and Roaring Moon's Calamity Storm does 220 damage, and Dragonite V coincidentally has 230 HP. So that 10 damage means if Kamal wants to respond here, we'll have to utilize Frenzied Gouging and putting yourself at 30 HP left when there's something like Sableye or Cramorant that can easily revenge KO. That is going to be a very rough situation to be in. So maybe we won't even need to see the Kyogre play here.
Yeah, that is very true. Aiden knowing the ins and outs of these decks, and the cracks are starting to show here for the Roaring Moon player Kamal. The weaknesses, the liabilities.
Vai, eu dei espadada na
see
bunda.
if Aiden
Como
can
assim foi
capitalize
mentira?
on that in this match. We're seeing the
Ah,
Mirage
também.
Gate here. Now that our Lost Zone is up to 7 cards, we're going to see that Lightning Energy and the
fatal.
Psychic Energy come out.
Yeah, preemptively setting up both Comfey, or one Comfey to retreat, giving itself the retreat this turn, not needing a switch card or anything else. Still has
Não
the
acaba
Force
não,
Stone,
essa
still
porra.
has the Pidgeot, getting very close to Sableye, so turns out maybe just one Colress is enough to get you to where you need to be.
Não vai dar empate,
Here we
pô.
go, Dragonite V coming
Acaba
into the
3-0
active
provavelmente.
position here after that retreat.
Yep, Dragon Gale for knockout.
Dragon Gale, huge knockout on that Roaring Moon EX.
Oi,
Gonna take 2
calma
prize
lá,
cards for that knockout. Unfortunately, not the Colress's experiment, but also those 2 damage counters placed on the bench as well there for Aiden. Now it's up to Kamal, as you're talking about, Pablo, kind of put in an awkward position here. We're gonna have to see what Kamal chooses to do, how he responds to this board state now. Aggression on both sides of the field, but Kamal's kind of in an awkward spot. Town
Caralho, errei o bagulho, velho. Nossa, se eu acertasse.
Could give a little bit of extra
Se eu
HP to that Roaring
acertasse, ia
Moon after
ficar.
it uses Frenzied Gouging. if we see the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule
Yeah.
or the Emergency Jelly. I think the Emergency Jelly would be the preferred option because that puts you out of range of getting Revenge KO'd by Cramorant, puts you out of range of getting Revenge KO'd by Sableye, as you do heal 128 damage. Therefore, Roaring Moon will have 150 HP left. So that's the ideal setup for Kamal. And the question is, can you pull it off? Because it seems like right now he's struggling to power up the Roaring Moon and will need to dedicate the Force Seal Stone to the Moltres in order to try and power up this Roaring Moon.
Yeah, that Moltres, the only target there for that Force Seal
Match
Stone.
point. Ah, não. Quem ganhar,
Gonna
ganhou
see that
agora.
Ancient Booster, though, come out onto the Roaring Moon EX on the bench, as well as a judge here from Kamal. Both of our players going to shuffle up their decks.
Yeah, 4 cards is not a lot, Boo. It's not a lot. Kamal needs to find either Energy Switch or a Darkness. Can then go find the other one with his V-Star power, whatever missing piece. So very well sequenced, but finding also the Emergency Jelly, that's going to be the key difficult card to find here. What does he find?
What do we see? I didn't get to see the cards,
neither.
Pablo. No. Yeah, I mean, Judge Disruption, always amazing against these Lost Box decks, but not if it's hindering your hand as well. Judge is just tough to work off of. Only 4 cards get drawn into. What do we see in the hands, Pablo?
We see Mew EX, Squawkabilly EX, and Switch Card and Professor Sada. So we're going to have to rely on a restart for 1 to see an energy or an energy switch, or perhaps for 2, benching that completely useless Squawkabilly.
Squawkabilly just clogging up the bench here for an extra draw of this card here for Kamal. Let's see what it is.
I could not see.
I know, keeping the card so close to the chest here, but nothing being played instantly. We do have the Dire Flame Wings ability.
Okay, did get an energy, so can Force Seal Stone for an energy switch to be able to get this KO. But once again, that frenzied gouging really leaves the Roaring Moon super, super vulnerable. And even a Comfey with Spin Attack could actually knock out this Roaring Moon. That's not off the table here.
If we saw that, Pablo, oh my gosh, that would be wild.
I mean, unless Aiden has a Colruy's Experiment, getting to 10 is not exactly straightforward. So I honestly, just finding a Psychic, just finding a Psychic seems easier than getting to 10 cards in the Lost Zone right now.
Spinning Attack. Who knew we'd be seeing that in our top 8, but the potential is definitely there. Kamal gonna take all of that damage on the Roaring Moon EX. Scary to be looking at, especially in a top 8 match here, but we're back over to Aiden's side of the field now, that Comfey in the active spots, and we're going to kick off this turn with another Colruy's Experiment.
Has a Colruy's. Kind of wish we had seen the energy recycler to just put back psychic energies into a deck. As long as you find 1, right, you get to 9, then Flower Select, get to 10, and then you can either attack with Comfey or just use Sableye. But it might be a little tricky to just find this KO, unless there's a Cramorant available. Off of this Nest Ball, then it's pretty straightforward. Seems like it's going to be the Pidgeot, though.
Tem que usar no máximo até 7.
The Force Seal Stone with the Town Store, that's really, really good.
Oh yeah, true. The Town Store's in play. That's the stadium. We're shopping here today for a little Force Seal Stone action on that Pidgeot V. That's huge, Pablo.
Yep, allows Aiden to be able to go find any card he wants after he uses his
Cuidado com a nuvenzinha aí.
missing after you've seen
É a
all these
nuvenzinha
cards,
do
then
Mago.
go ahead and find it. And
tomar
I'm gonna
cuidado.
guess it's a Psychic Energy for this Sableye, and then you get to spread
A
damage,
nuvenzinha do
take
Mago
this
destaca
KO, you have
coisa.
9 damage counters left over, 2 prizes left, and there's 2 very low HP and easy to KO targets in Mew EX or Squawkabilly EX with no way for Kamal to get rid of.
Yeah, honestly, this performance right now here from Aiden is just dominating in this match right now. And really flawlessly, so fluidly with these cards. Aiden just doing exactly what needs to happen every single turn. And Kamal not able to apply the pressure because Aiden is just one step ahead every counter turn that we see. Sableye getting that psychic energy.
Ai, tinha uma arminha ali.
And we're gonna see the Lost Mine to be able to knock out this Roaring Moon EX quite easily. Yeah, now we see the Vanishing Wings, making sure that there's no 2 prize liability
Yeah.
in play, making sure that Kamal cannot get to 1 prize card if they went after it somehow, but feels like the writing's on the table. As long as Aiden can recuperate this Sableye, then the game will probably go in Aiden's favor.
Yeah, and the hand is pretty solid as far as size goes for Aiden as well. So things are looking pretty good here. We're just spreading this damage now, these damage counters with the Lost Mine.
3 there, and then I'm assuming all 9 over here.
Ooh.
Maybe not
Looks
all
like
9.
almost.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
3 and 9. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. That does leave Squawkabilly with 70 HP left and easily sniped now. There's only 1 copy of Sableye in these newer Lost Box decks, as the threat of Jirachi definitely took away power from Sableye, so it will be on Aiden to super out it back into the deck, find it again, and power it up, which is easier said than done, of course, especially with a super rod at the very top of the prize cards for Aiden.
Alça do Toro.
Will we be able to see it
Eu acho
happen?
zoado
It's
dropar
all
item
going
de
to
outro
come
boneco.
together, hopefully on the next turn here for Aiden. But
Até
the
onde eu sei, o
pressure is
armazém é
on here so far in this match. I feel like we're barely
tem
in
mais
it
uma
too.
missão.
Yeah,
Like this has gone so quick here.
Yeah, I think this is
10
only
minutes,
Kamal's
tá?
3rd turn, and we're
Oh
already
my
1 turn away
gosh.
from the game ending, pretty much.
Yeah,
No máximo
exactly.
10
That
minutos.
is pretty wild to see. Kamal kind of taking things easy here, making sure all the sequencing is correct.
We do see the emergency jelly still in the deck. That's the card that Kamal
Cara,
would
meu
love
melhor
to
pra
find. And
ajudar.
I'm wondering if maybe playing the town store and then playing the judge was better. That way, if you find Forest Seal Stone, you can grab emergency jelly. If you find emergency jelly, you can grab Forest Seal Stone, right? You needed an energy or an energy switch either way, right?
Yeah.
But just give yourself a little bit more versatility and wiggle room.
Well, there we see the Professor Sada's vitality from Kamal as well to get that energy onto the Roaring Moon EX.
Yeah, it seems like it might even be a little difficult for Kamal to piece out an attack here. Is missing that energy switch to transfer the energy from Moltres onto Roaring Moon. Will be able to find an extra attachment with this Earthen Vessel, thin the deck a little bit, but is there even an energy switch or a Dark Patch? I think there's 1 Dark Patch left, so I think we're gonna see a very exciting Pokestop here, Boo.
Oh, I'm ready for it, Pablo. Love the exciting matches here in our top cut games.
Tadinha.
And these players are performing so far. I'm loving it.
I don't know if there is an energy switch or not. Couldn't tell, but there's a Pokestop. We need to see Dark Patch or energy switch, and there it is. There's the energy switch, just barely.
Yep, boss's orders going to the discard pile, but finding that energy switch and a nice little trekking shoes as well. We're going for a walk here. Ultra Ball hitting the discard pile.
Oof.
Oh no, for a battle.
For a battle VIP pass.
And now we see this Dire Flame Wings ability as well off this Galarian Moltres.
Yep. Now, usually
That's
in
what
this
we need.
situation, as Roaring Moon or as any deck
Às
really
vezes
against
quando
Lost
os
Box, you want to
esses
combine
bichos
this
vai
KO with an
dar
Iono, right? Take away your
derrubada, é
opponent's
bom
fusion,
usar
but
um skill pra...
these Roaring Moon decks are not known for their disruption. They're known for their speed, their aggression, and they just can't afford to fit a disruption package as well. And Aiden loses the Sableye,
Não,
but
na real, ele já
has
chegou.
an almost 8-card hand to play with and can maybe even
Lá.
piece out the Kyogre here, can maybe recover the Dragonite, can maybe recover the Sableye, has a lot of ways to potentially close out the game, and he doesn't even need to do it this turn. He still has 1 more turn as long as he doesn't prize a 2-prize Pokemon.
Yeah, maybe it would have been a little bit different if the energy requirement on Roaring Moon was different, but it's 3 energy that you need there. That's why we had to see that Professor Sada, as well as the Earthen Vessel, as well as the Dire Flame Wings and the energy switch to just
Brocada.
prep your Pokemon for this.
Brau.
And now, yeah, Aiden has that huge hand, even though we did see a judge earlier, but Aiden is well past that
Morri
now,
também.
and lots of options in the
Eu
hand
morri.
here. Could this be it, Pablo? Are we gonna get there?
I mean, maybe. It seems like Aiden's going to go for a defensive Roxanne instead of trying to go for a Colruyt that he was holding. So we might see a more passive turn from Aiden here, just trying to dig through the deck, either establish the Kyogre play by thinning resources or just able to dig for those super rods, right? I don't think we see any super rod in the lost zone. I don't recall seeing a super rod in the
Opa, ganhou o
and
título.
there are three copies, one of which is prized. So Eden might be just trying to refresh the hand, take away resources from Kamal, and try to establish one of those two plays, the Dragonite or the Sableye.
Great chase.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of leeway here for Aiden
Bota
as well.
na-
Potentially. We'll have to see how things
Ah,
play
mas ganha
out. But we're
passiva
going to see the attachment to that Comfey. Just a hard retreat into another flower selecting here from Aiden.
Yep, no super rod found, I don't think. And even though Aiden has a decent number of good cards, it's just not quite what you want. And ooh, that switch card feels important potentially for next turn. I wonder what the other card was.
Vai logo eu.
Vanishing Wings, make sure there's no two-price target for Kamal to take advantage of. And I think we're going to see a pass from Aiden here.
Wow. Bird flies in, bird flies out. Aiden advances the hand a little bit. But yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, can't even thin. Oh no, can't
Explorar e
thin
matar,
getting
investigar
rid of
monstros.
the
É
as
matar
well,
os
but no, just a pass.
Pass over to Kamal now, who still has that Roaring Moon in the active here. This is pretty close here, Pablo.
Yeah, Kamal's just gonna attack, take the knockout, and be like, hey, then you got it. Otherwise, I got it.
Yeah.
There's no Pokemon Aiden can send out to stall either because of frenzied gouging. So
Oh my
Aiden
goodness.
against the rope
tá de
is
bicho,
counting out his energy.
Yeah.
Did
Não,
find the super
não
rod,
é pra
however, so
direita.
this will allow him to
É
put
pra
back
baixo,
a
pra
Sableye
cima, pra
and couple psychics.
pro lado, pra baixo,
I
pra
think
cima,
so,
pro lado.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Tem pra direita.
Well, the question is, does 3 psychics have the nest ball? All right, so okay. I think we are about to see a flower select to try to find one of these psychic energies. It all comes down to this, Boo. If Aiden can find one of these psychic energies, or a way to find it, whether it's Mirage Gate, whether it's Colress perhaps, to dig deeper into the deck, this all comes down to this big flower select right here.
Yeah, the Sableye joined us. What's it going to be?
Nest
my gosh.
Ball and Mirage Gate, there it is. There's the psychic energy and has an escape rope to be able to take down this Squawkabilly.
That was way
era
too
assim mesmo?
close there, Pablo. But Aiden
Acho que eles
who's
encurtaram o
pulling
número de
things
salas.
out off of one single
Que antes
flower
parecia
select
maior,
at the
parecia que era uma
end there
porrada de
into the
sala.
Mirage Gate. That was hectic. Imagine if it didn't play out like that, Pablo. It could have just been on the exact opposite side of the coin here. I gotta say though, we were discussing this matchup, and I didn't expect it to play out as it did.
Agreed. I mean, Kamal off to a very explosive start. Aiden's very underwhelming start, but then all of a sudden Aiden responded with that Dragon Gale with Dragonite V, putting Kamal against the ropes, but then finding just enough to be able to respond to that Dragonite, leaving himself very vulnerable to the frenzied gouging into a Lost Mine. Aiden very smartly setting up that Squawkabilly with the Lost Mine, and then off the top finding that Super Rod, and off the Flower Select finding the Mirage Gate. Now, Aiden did have the Psychics, the Mirage Gate. I believe there was a Pokestop left as well. There was a Colress left as well, and that Mirage Gate was a key card to be able to build up this game.
Yep, and that Squawkabilly ended up being a complete vulnerability, unfortunately. And wasn't it benched just for a single additional draw as well?
It was benched, but like if that had not happened, then Kamal probably wouldn't have been able to knock out the Dragonite V, right?
Exactly.
So it's one of those things where you just have to, even though it could cost you, and the Mew EX was also already benched, so it could have been Mew or it could have been Squawk. The only way to avoid that would have been to not bench either, and that was unfortunately not a possibility since Kamal's draw off the judge was just not that great.
Exactly, it all came down to those tiny decisions that you're hoping to pan out for you in the end, but sometimes it just happens to go the other way, and
você tá falando do game,
happened to go Aiden's way that time around,
falando
so
do
I'm sure
Great Chase.
feeling
Eu pensei que fosse outra
a
coisa.
lot of nerves there, but super relieved after that first game, going up 1-0 now in this game with Lost Box versus
Peguei o
Roaring
título de
Moon.
Sivaltron.
You'll have to let us know in the chat watching this
Fica o
match
maluco aí, ó.
how you feel
Tá,
after
fica o
watching
cara
that
aí.
first game between our players. Is there anything you would have done differently? Is there
rolando. Tá
anyone you're rooting for now? Maybe switch sides. I mean, our chat has
Não,
been
foi da
rooting for
passada.
Roaring Moon all weekends, but
Ó, tô
Kamal
dá
here trying to show out with this Roaring Moon, and so far not able to take that first game, but it was so close there, Pablo. So I'm very excited to head into this game 2 between our players.
Me too. And I know chat's a big fan of Roaring Moon. They kept choosing it as their community choices. However, I think Kyogre, and like watching the Kyogre plays and watching players sequence out their whole
os caras
deck
tá
to
com
be
um
able to
dragãozinho
pull
mal
off those
bolado,
big Aqua
velho.
Storms. I think that's also very enjoyable to watch as well. So I feel like these are two fan favorites right here. And it'll be interesting to see who chooses to go, who Kamal chooses to go, whether he chooses to go first or second, and how this game plays out. Once again, a Color is prized, the Pidgeot, which was very pivotal for Aiden to be able to utilize that for a Seal Stone, and the Iona. The Iona for Kamal could also be problematic or important. Yeah, it's like decently placed to where maybe he finds it at just the right time to try and deny Aiden from the resources that he needs.
Yeah, true. It all depends on when you draw these prize cards potentially. For Aiden, I mean, that Pidgeot V is on the bottom of the prize card, so if it's chosen from bottom, maybe we could see that for some 4 Seal Stone play potentially for Aiden down the line. But we're starting off here with Aiden going first. Battle VIP pass going to come out right away, and Aiden's assessing the deck here, making sure that all prize cards are accounted for.
Yeah, very important to be thorough with your prize checking, especially as Lost Box. Yeah, if you're choosing to play a Lost Box deck, you never want to go, oh, that energy was prized, right? As we saw on stream yesterday. So you definitely have to be more thorough than with other decks. And I know I started be more serious with my note taking when I started playing Lost Box to every tournament I was going to. Yeah. Before I usually would just try to remember my prizes, check the important things. But when I was playing Lost Box, I knew I needed to make sure, especially the energies, because any mistake with Mirage Gate can be so costly.
Yeah, if everything was colorless, we'd be fine. Yep. But there are certain energy requirements that certain Pokemon do require, and that's when things can get dicey, especially if you only have so many copies of each. And you got to think about it. You're forced into some of these decisions with your flower selecting, with your choices to put into the Lost Zone. So it's even more important there. So yeah, when you say that, Pablo, it just really showcases how important every single resource is in this deck. But Aiden has been cruising with this deck so far. You know, speaking about energy going to the Lost Zone.
Speaking of being very aware, and then, I mean, this is super crucial. Yeah, I know Aiden knows exactly now at this point in time which energy he prized, which energy he has access to, and there we go. Yeah, keeps one lightning energy in favor of the Pokestop to make sure that even though it's discarded, it does have a lot of ways to recover it. No problem.
Absolutely. Pokestop and Lightning Energy are 2 cards in the Lost Zone. As we pass over now to Kamal's first turn, let's take a look at the starting hand for Kamal.
Usar 7 ou menos poções, derrotar 2 ou mais golems de fogo.
I think he's holding the 4 Seal Stones, so we might just see it like a straightforward grab a research, find a fresh new hand. Does have a few cards he would not like to discard, such as a Palpad perhaps, as in an ideal world you want to like play Iona or Judge and then recycle them and continue attacking your opponent's hand, which is something like Gardevoir wants to do against pretty much every deck. This is your almost attempt at trying to do that, but it doesn't always work out.
Gotcha. Well, Kamal is going to be searching through the deck as well here to start things off. How do you think Kamal is going to make any different decisions here going into this game 2 as far as a whole of playing, Pablo?
I mean, perhaps trying to utilize more Peko if it's available. True. I think that was a key part from game 1 that was missing, because Aiden was able to go to prize cards, right? Knock out Roaring Moon with Dragonite, knock out the next Roaring Moon with Sableye, and knock out Squawkabilly with Sableye once again. However, in an ideal world, if you're able to take that first conflict with your more Peko, then Aiden can't just take 2 prizes for free on that.
Fazer uma boquinha.
Moon EX would have to deal with the Morpeko with something like Cramorant, then you're tied at 5-5, and that gives Kamal an extra turn to do other things and take advantage of the prize.
Yeah, I like that. Kind of switching up the play style, forcing your opponent to take different actions instead of such a linear pathway to victory.
Okay.
Well, the Forest Seal Stone ended up grabbing a Battle Game pass that brought these Pokemon out onto the field. We saw the concealed cards here from Radiant Greninja, as well as Professor Sada bringing out this energy onto the Roaring Moon. We're seeing the third attachment here with the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. And Aiden is one Comfey short and one Comfey now in the active, while Kamal's going to take the first prize card.
No caso, ele só passa, acho que de PayPal para PayPal, né?
Take that first prize card already didn't need
E eu queria mandar...
just had everything he needed, and now thanks to that ancient energy booster capsule,
Nossa,
giving extra HP to
uma conta brasileira PayPal.
Aiden is able to somehow piece out 7 cards in the Lost Zone into a Dragonite V. That would not be enough to get a KO here.
Yep, that extra HP is huge. It's I will say though, it's a handful.
Eu acho que tem a opção de reembolso lá que você colocar no cartão.
Woo! That's a lot.
Yeah, I would have personally called it Ancient Capsule myself.
Yeah,
but
right? Much simpler.
Por conta PayPal.
We're getting boosted today here with that Roaring Moon. And this is what we needed to see from Kamal. Exactly what you said last game, Pablo. We need to see the knockout in the first turn, and Kamal has now accomplished that. So Aiden's going to have to find a way to keep up the pace as we saw in our game 1. But even in our game 1, it was so close between these players. So any slip up here from Aiden in this turn could really count for a lot. Lost Zone is now up to 5 cards here as we jump back into the deck with the Nest Ball.
Yeah, and the huge difference from game 1 to game 2 for Aiden is that Aiden wasn't able to get 3 Comfeys in play on turn 1, or he chose not to, right? He chose to go for the Greninja instead of a Comfey, which means he only got 2 cards and lost on turn 1. Now that he lost a Comfey with the Colress plus the Comfey, we're at 5 in the Lost Zone instead of the 7 previous, right? So definitely a slower-ish start for Aiden. That means this Roaring Moon worth 2 prizes will be able to take 2 prizes itself as well. So you trade it evenly, you have the initiative. That's definitely what you want to be doing.
Well, we saw that Pokestop come out and be rolled here for Aiden. We're going to see a Psychic Energy go to the discard pile. That's now a Psychic, a Water, and a Lightning Energy in the discard pile here for Aiden. Cramorant joining us in the active here to spit innocently on this Roaring Moon EX, the disrespect, Pablo.
Nothing innocent about spitting on your opponents. That's for sure.
Yes, indeed. Kamal starting off this turn now with the concealed cards. Wow, I gotta say this Radiant Greninja has carried so much weight in this deck with the card draw.
Now, this is something we were discussing earlier as well, how this Radiant Greninja carries the team, but also can be a liability because of the mobile. 1 switch card has been used already. Yeah, there's 1 escape rope left. We don't know how much information Aiden has on Kamal's deck. You can make an educated guess based on trends, right, on how many switching cards they have available. But we could potentially see a mobile trap somewhere down the line, especially if Kamal ends up exhausting the copy of escape rope that he has.
Absolutely, and that's what I love about Aiden's deck as well. It's a very different version of Lost Box, but it has those different outs. With the Mawile, it could just pop up out of nowhere, and then you're losing the game instantly. So that is definitely scary to see, especially if you're not aware of it ahead of time. But again, it's kind of risky for Aiden because, like you said, Pablo, you never know how many switch outs your opponent has. Your best educated guess. So Kamal now down to 4 prize cards left to take to tie things up between these players. Cramorant going down from that Roaring Moon EX. I guess it didn't take too well to get it spin on.
Yeah, and combining that KO with a Judge and getting rid of the Pokestop that Aiden had played, which otherwise Kamal would not have been able to take a KO on that Cramorant or had to find a stadium himself. So things just not going great for Aiden so far.
A maioria dos bonecos de coisa eu liberava tudo no hack.
More heavily on relying on Mawile this turn because that Greninja is definitely
Tinha amiga minha que ela
it's a win
jogava
condition
full
right
na
now.
humildade,
That's
tá
something
ligado?
really cool about
Eu
these
liberava
low
os
cost decks.
bonecos.
Is like
Só
you
que
bench
quando eu...
Greninja or Manaphy to try to
Véi,
protect
só que era
from
muito
Kyogre or
sacrifício,
Radiant
mano.
Greninja,
Muito
fine, then I'll
sacrifício pra
go
liberar
trap
os
it.
bagulhos.
Oh, you don't bench it,
E
then you
demorava
expose
demais,
yourself
velho.
to
Aí teve umas vezes
Greninja
que
and
ela até
Kyogre, so
aceitou
it's
eu
like a
carregar
lose
ela.
situation for a lot of players. As
O
we see,
cheat
Aiden
ligado.
pass and not do anything of relevance this turn.
Ooh, that is one turn
Não,
essentially
ou
missed here.
pensa, na
Giving
tela
the
você ia demorar
momentum
uns
back
4,
over
5
to
minutos pra
Kamal.
terminar.
And when you're a Roaring
O
Moon
hack se faz em
player,
1
that's
minuto.
definitely what you want to see. You can establish
E
your bench
tipo,
even
tu fazia 4, 5 minutos na chance de dropar o pedaço.
continue your grind to
Porra!
a finish, taking 4 more prize
Vai
cards
se
here
fuder.
to win. I guess the question is, how will Kamal
Não era
go
nem
about that? What do you
garantido
think
que
the
ia cair o
best route
bagulho.
is as far as attacking sequence here for Kamal?
I mean, at this point, you just need to make sure you attack every single turn, right? We're talking about how important it is to get the attack on turn 1 against essentially a single price deck. You're going to need to attack at least 6 times, right? Sometimes more, sometimes less, but usually around 6. Therefore, you need to make sure you have your backup attackers ready. And these are essentially free turns that Kamal didn't have last time because Aiden was applying so much pressure to just get a lot of Roaring Moons ready to go, get the Galarian Moltres as well ready to go if necessary, and just make sure you can attack a total of 6 times.
Well, that Professor Sada's Vitality attaching that energy to the benched Roaring Moon EX here for Kamal. Starting off the turn, so I mean,
Sim.
that's
Porra, eu
what we're
lembro que era
doing
mó
here, Pablo. We're
difícil
setting
upar
up
nesse caralho
alternate
aqui.
attackers here on the bench, which is exactly what you're saying.
Esses level
Needs
aqui era
to start happening.
pegadíssimo,
Kamal
mano.
debating whether to put down the town store to potentially search out another tool card. Does choose to play the town store. That's our stadium in play
socão.
now. And
socão na boca.
Ancient.
Para de dar soco, filho da puta.
I know.
Ancient Booster Energy Capsule.
I think
off
I
the
always
town
say
store.
Ancient Energy Booster Capsule, which
yeah.
is not correct. Yes, Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. That's going to be our homework after this regional.
Right? I'm just going to print it out and put it in front of me. Oh, well, that is going to be drawn off the town store after a couple debates here. But now the town store is gone here from Kamal, of course, from that Roaring Moon. Aiden over here on this turn. Started things off with the Colossus Experiment, but Kamal is now down one more prize card, only 3 left to take here. The pressure is on for Aiden. What could we possibly see here, Pablo, that could turn things around? Is it just too
Os
little
caseage é lixo comparado aos que eu tô dropando
Is
aqui.
a copy
Calma aí, ó.
Lost
Dropei uma
Vacuum
passiva
in
aqui.
Aiden's deck, so could remove this Ancient
Eu posso
Capsule
escolher as
and
passivas
utilize
que eu quero.
Dragonite to take the KO. That was very smartly done by Kamal, retreating the damaged Roaring Moon to not give
Meu tá
Aiden
equipado.
any sort of chance
Tormenta
at being
divina.
able to take more than or any
Não,
prize
meu tá
cards
certo,
really.
tá
So
escrito equipado.
it's on
tá
Aiden to
equipado.
really make something happen here. If Kamal goes down to 2 prizes before Aiden has taken a single one, it's like Kyogre only gets you so far, right? You need to take those first 2 prizes to then play into the Kyogre, which Kamal is also sort of playing around by not having a lot of bench Pokemon this time around.
Yeah, I absolutely agree there, Pablo. Luckily, the cards
mas
kind
já tá
of
frio,
fell
né?
a little differently for Kamal there, where there weren't a ton of clunky turns. It kind of panned out pretty well here, but Aiden gonna choose to bring out this Kyogre now with the Nest Ball.
Tá de elite, tá de elite.
Yeah, so threatening the Kyogre, which I don't think we're gonna see anytime soon.
I mean,
There's
that
the
deck's pretty
though.
full. Oh, yeah. Oh, looks like
Ooh,
debating,
yeah.
debating
Yeah.
putting it down, but I mean, at this point, I don't think we've seen it once. Like, I don't even think it's been discarded or lost zone.
No,
so
not at
the
all.
knowledge technically could not even be there as far as Kamal not knowing them all while it's in the deck.
Another pass here, so
gosh.
that knowledge aspect that you were mentioning was very important because this is something I like to tell the people that I talk to or coach. It's out of sight, out of mind. Right? Until your opponent doesn't see that card, they might not even be considering it at all. Yeah, especially in such a high-stakes match. The more you conceal that information, and the more you have the surprise factor go in your favor, the more likely, the more effective it is likely to be. Therefore, not playing that on mobile could be very crucial if Aiden wants to have any sort of chance in trapping this Radiant Greninja. And Kamal does have this escape rope in his hand, but perhaps Aiden could, after the mobile gets KO'd, or even if the mobile gets KO'd, if it gets escape rope back and not KO'd, Aiden can go back and trap the Greninja. That could be a problem. So that escape rope, it all lingers in this escape rope.
Absolutely. Yeah, and exactly. Kamal might not even know that at this point
in
time.
For sure. We know that,
Yeah,
right?
we
Because
know
we have the
that.
list, they're chilling with this top view, but they don't necessarily know that. And
Eu nem
I think
sei
this
qual
is
que é os
also
melhores
important,
bagulhos
like,
também.
Kamal is leaving this Roaring Moon very vulnerable to
Tamo
get
full novo
potentially
ainda.
promoted, right?
Yes.
Without the mobile, and then Kamal will be forced to use the escape rope to retreat, and that's when the mobile happens.
Absolutely, but I mean, the clock is ticking down at this point. Kamal, 2 prize cards left to take. Aiden now using an energy recycler to get all of these energy back into the deck here. Mawile has come down here on Aiden's side of the field. Mirage Gate as well, putting down these energy onto the field for Aiden. So, hey, Mawile's out of the bag here, Pablo.
Mawile is no longer a surprise. It's now looking to tempting trap something in the active, but it has to be the Greninja, right?
Yes.
The question is, can Aiden bring that Greninja to the active twice?
Yeah, you want something that's not going to attack you. You're stuck in the active position because you cannot retreat, you cannot attack. You're stuck, but Kamal does have that escape rope, which we already knew in hand.
Now, Kamal is now safe on the bench, right? Can Kamal combine this escape rope with a boss's orders? Otherwise, if Kamal is not able to do that, Aiden will be able to try to find the counter catcher and trap the Greninja once again, and I think that would be game.
Well, trekking shoes.
No boss. Oh, there's the boss. There's the boss. There's the boss. All right. Oof. There's the knockout. So now Aiden has 1 turn to recover the mobile, find counter catcher. Oh, top deck. Super odd. And just immediately scoop. So played to his win condition of trapping with mobile, but was not able to do so now. Does this give Kamal information to where he will adjust his play for game 3? I don't know, but if he didn't know before, now he does.
Oh my gosh, Pablo. My hands are sweaty. My heart's pumping, maybe too many energy drinks, but Kamal Crooks Valdez is going to take that game here in our game 2 between these players. And that was almost as intense as our game 1.
Yeah, very intense, very fast-paced as well. Very back and forth. The single, even though it's a single price deck, these games went flying by.
Absolutely. I'm loving the pace from both of our players, but there were so many passive turns from Aiden, trying to focus on potentially getting maybe that Mawile toward the ends there, but as soon as Kamal played that escape rope, bossed up the Mawile again, the cards were just stacked against Aiden's favor, and that brings us to a game 3 here between both of our Masters top 8 players here on the stream. You couldn't have chalked it up better than this, Pablo. I'm excited to get into this. I'm excited to hear from the chat what they were thinking after that second game. And going into this third, Pablo, it all comes down to this. I mean, this is the difference between maybe you have a good start and your opponent does not, and you're in top 4 suddenly.
Yeah, pretty much. And there's $2,000 difference at least between top 8 and top 4, and we could be seeing the future champion as well, right, in this match. So a lot to play for, and it all comes down to this game 3, where it'll be interesting to see whether Aiden chooses to go first or second. Or usually prefers to go second, so that could weigh into Aiden's mind. The decision now. The Squawkabilly and the Mew being priced could be problematic, along with those double Mirage Gates.
Wow, yeah, double Mirage Gate. The Colress's experiment can't seem to stay out of the prize cards for Aiden either. Luckily, it is that card on the bottom there.
Porque eu trabalho com React, eu quero fazer React. Não, tem sempre tecnologia nova que o pessoal tá usando, eu quero ver. E eles sempre fazem de acordo com o que a galera tá mais utilizando no mercado. Tem lib nova que tá melhor, que era melhor que as antigas que tinha. Eles sempre fazem os bagulho atualizadinho. Aí olha lá se tem ângulo. Olha lá, eles estão incluindo um monte de coisa nova.
A gente também lá no nosso trabalho, a gente usa muita versão. Ah, do Angular. Mas você tá achando que não? Se mata. Com o pai, com o papai. Mano, que essa bicha debaixo da minha torre me solou, velho. Superou vida pra caralho, velho. Mas a porta pura, mano. Não é possível. Eu também.
Ah, velho.
Sim, eu tô ligado. É bonzinho. Não,
Gostava porque ele se
eu acho que eu tô
transformava
brincando.
num bicho. Num lobo, num bagulho doido.
É o pai, cuzão. É o pai, cuzão. Aqui é o pai. É o pai. Aqui é o pai, cuzão. Ai.
Vai ser o Chiquinho. Pá.
Sabe que eu acho que é meio pirada, velho. A bicha é meio pirada, às vezes eu valeu.
Acabou as missões.
Loja, você não sabe o que é loja? Loja. Aqui tem
Ó, eu saí da sala aí. Ó, começa amanhã, às 19 horas vai ter um encontro. Fazer um projeto em 3 aulas, como funciona. Ó, tem Node, React, Python, Java, C Sharp, React Native e HTML, CSS e JS. Ó, abertura do cronograma. Ó. Às 19 horas vai ser a abertura oficial, que eles vão falar, vamos ter bagulho, lá. Aí às 20 horas eles vão liberar a aula.
Essas porras. Peraí, deixa eu passar aqui pra cima.
Aí vai ter uma aula cada dia. Dia 5, 6 e 7. Aí dia 8 é o encerramento, que eles vão fazer outra live de encerramento. Então, ó, a aula gravada vai ser disponibilizada às 20 horas. Dá para ir para academia de boa. Pá. fazer o login. Tem essas trilhas, ó. Tem Java, Python, React, Node, React Native, trilha C Sharp e HTML, CSS e JavaScript. Deve ser um mais iniciante, talvez. Eu vou cagar, já vou. Duro cagar.